A debate about violence against women has broken out in Britain after the murder of Sarah Everard. There are currently reports of mostly girls from schools across the country causing an uproar. Experts are calling for a change in culture and also see men as having an obligation. From a distance, you can see the cellophane glittering in the spring sun. Thousands of buckets of flowers are laid around the bandstand in South London's Clapham Common Park. The mountain of daffodils, tulips and roses overwhelms and continues to grow every day. Not far from the improvised memorial site, Sarah Everard was last seen alive on the evening of March 3rd. According to all that the investigators know so far, the 33-year-old British woman was kidnapped and killed on the way home. The alleged perpetrator is a 48-year-old police officer. The murder rocked the kingdom and sparked a debate about violence against women and girls that continued a month later. On the contrary, girls and women from all parts of the country and all age groups still speak up, sharing their everyday fears when they are walking alone in the dark or in lonely areas. Reports from schools, including elite institutions such as Eton College and Westminster School, caused a stir. On the website, everyone's invited. So far, 14,000 victims, including a number of schoolgirls, have anonymously reported about their often disturbing experiences, sexual harassment, misogynistic statements, the publication of intimate photos, and point systems for evaluating sexual performance. The scale is shocking and puts politicians under pressure. Education Secretary Gavin Williamson described the incidents as shocking and shameful. The government will take appropriate measures, he says. Parliamentary Education Committee Chairman Robert Harfin called for an independent investigation. Soma Sarah, the initiator of the website founded last year, denounces the normalization and trivialization of sexual violence. There is a rape culture in Great Britain, a rape culture that permeates every school, university, home and society, she says. Shortly after Everard's disappearance, Clapham police advised all women not to go out alone in the dark. The advice made many angrier. Why should they change their behavior again? For the first time, many men also got involved and asked on social media what they can do to be more effective as allies. A flood of advice broke out on them. Change side of the street, slow down your walking speed, keep more distance, make a loud phone call. Nonetheless, some commentators speak of a war against men or hunted down and defended themselves with the hashtag not all men, which women in turn hurled against, saying that the problem might not affect all men, but definitely all women. In fact, activists and experts alike call for a change in society and see men above all as having an obligation. Not being a violent or abusive man yourself is simply not enough, says Graham Golden. The Scot was a police officer for 30 years. Now he works as a trainer in the field of violence prevention. He says, when men keep silent or laugh, when others crack sexist jokes or make inappropriate comments, we are part of the problem. Golden goes to schools, universities, sports clubs and companies. Prevention begins in this environment. Even a father of 2 daughters, he primarily wants to stimulate conversation between two sides who all too often don't really listen to each other. In addition, Golden gives men tools on how to intervene in delicate situations. He recommends being curious, showing empathy and courage. He says men have to recognize the connection between the sexist jokes or the often misogynistic language and how this can lead to other forms of violence and abuse. Unfortunately, many did not dare to challenge people in their private sphere if they behaved inappropriately. He says criminals do not come from another planet, but are acquaintances and colleagues. The overwhelming proportion of men on their own would have a healthy view of women, but they often misperceive reality and think that friends hold sexist opinions, which in turn means that they either join them or say nothing. And this leads to a perfect storm. The vast majority remain silent, the abusive minority get away with it. And if you want to stay informed on that topic, please subscribe to my channel. Auf Wiedersehen.